Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna do an art supply haul. I haven't done one in a long time, but I have been buying art materials quite regularly. So some of these supplies have already been on my previous videos, but I don't think I have put them all together in a single haul. This is what I'm gonna do today. Alright, let's start with the biggest item I have here. Grand Prismacolor Premiered Colored Pencil, 120 colors. I think it's the biggest set that Prismacolor offers, unless I'm mistaken. For the record, I bought this about a year ago, and this has been with me for almost a year or 1.5 years maybe. These pencils are wax based and they are very soft, very pigmented, and very opaque colors, and they have a wide range of vivid colors. There are multiple blues, greens, reds, yellows, and earth colors. A wide variety of colors. Pretty much all of the colors you want are in here. I use colored pencils mostly to put fine details to oil pastel paintings or watercolor paintings. Especially these Prismacolor colored pencils can be used that way because they are very soft. Now before buying this set, I was fairly new to colored pencils, and I bought smaller sets from different other brands like Faber-Castell Polychromos, Derwentings, Stabilo Carbatello. They are all different types of pencils. Now, Derwentings is an ink-based pencil, Polychromos is an oil-based, and Stabilo Carbatello is a pastel pencil. And I ended up liking only the Prismacolor out of the entire lot. So that's why I invested on buying their biggest set. Kandash Luminance also offer a similar set, and it's said to be a lot better quality than Prismacolor, but the Kandash Luminance is almost twice the price or 3 times the price, so it's very over budget for me. I feel like the Prismacolor Premia is reasonably priced. That is why I bought the Prismacolor. So price wise, quality wise, and color range, when you take everything into account, I feel like this is probably the best buy out there when it comes to wax based colored pencils. I'm gonna put these pencils back into their original box. Later on I'll be storing them in pencil cases because I want all of my pencils to be in one place along with the other pencil brands that I bought. So to the next one, we have this beautiful range of macaron colored pencils. And let's take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful these colors are. Such a wonderful range of colors. I guess I bought this just because it's very beautiful, but I haven't really used these pencils that much. I think this is the only painting I have done so far using these macaron colors. It's partially because these colors are pastel colors, so you kind of have to find an appropriate subject to paint with it. So I know that something like the nature themes or even most of the food items that I see don't really go for these colors. And also these pencils are heavily wax based, so it's a little difficult to layer them. They don't go on top of each other that much. I know that Hobayan makes a similar set. Now that is said to be a lot better in quality than this brand. This is the Brutfuner 50 colored macaron colored set. So anyway, there's another downside to this set that would be this flimsy cardboard box. Now I wish this came in a sturdier tin set or something like that, because I plan to store these pencils in their original box. I don't want to mix them up with the rest of my pencils in the pencil cases, because this color order is pretty and I want to keep these pencils separate. So unfortunately this box is not the best thing about these pencils. Alright, let's move on to the next one, and this is Mozart Premium Japanese Watercolor Set. This is a 40 colored set. Now, unlike the previous one that I showed, this one comes in a very sturdy tin box set. Now, the swatch chart is glued to the lid. I like that. Oftentimes, I end up losing this one. Anyway, this one has 40 colors as I said, but the last two rows are neon colors and metallic colors. That means you only get about 24 normal colors. I typically don't often use metallics and neon colors. I'm not a big fan of this set. Unfortunately, they are not very pigmented is what I feel like. They have this grainy effect. You can see that some of these swatches are not very consistent. So there's a bit of a grainy effect that's coming through from these colors, and I feel like it's the pigment quality. That's my judgment of it. And I'm not a big fan of it because of that. As you know, I like opaque colors. Even when it comes to watercolors is said to be a little more fluid medium, transparent medium. I like to see more opaque colors, and unfortunately this set is not that. Alright, moving on. Next up, I have the Gansai paints. Now, this has been on my channel multiple times and I keep talking about it. They come in this delightfully huge, decorated, elegant, minimalist packaging. This is about the packaging. For me, I know that you buy supplies for the colors and all that, but I think I bought these two small sets just for the packaging. They are very Eastern and very Japanese looking. If you buy this big set, there is really no reason for you to buy smaller ones because all of these colors are included in the bigger set. Now, this is not the biggest set though from the Gansai. They have a 100 color set as well. This one has 48 colors, but still you get a fairly vivid, wide range of colors. This block is bigger than the typical watercolor block that you get from other brands. So you kind of get more paint for the money you pay. I've said this before, I'm 50-50 on the Gansai paints because these paints are slightly different than the traditional Western watercolors. These are very fluid, once again opaque, all of that is there, but sometimes these paints can be very sticky and they don't mix with each other that well. They create dull colors when you mix two colors together. So, but I have no regrets in buying them. Anyway, let's move on. We have another watercolor set here. Again, this is a Japanese brand, I think Chinese or Japanese brand. And this is probably the most favored watercolor set out of the other sets that I have, or one of the ones that I like the most. Yeah, I guess I like a couple of other sets, but this is definitely one of my most favored. I have drawn these paintings using this set. I guess most of the paintings that I have in these sketchbooks have been done using this set and another color set, which is very similar to this one. And these colors are surprisingly good quality, and two of these colors mix really well with each other. This is definitely not a professional brand. It's a student grade material, but I am 100% advocating this set because I haven't had a moment of disappointment with it. Alright, now that I'm showing you sketchbooks, let's move on to just that, sketchbooks. Speaking of which, these are my favorites for everyday sketches. I have about 5 identical sketchbooks over here, and I have bought 5 because these are very inexpensive. I bought these from a local art supply store, and each one of these sketchbooks is about $2. These are my everyday sketchbooks. The reason is because these papers are surprisingly very good quality. Typically, these pages should be used for pencil sketches. They are not meant to be used with water-based mediums like watercolors. But surprisingly, these papers work really well with watercolors. Now, that kind of blew my mind when I first used it. I just randomly bought it and I wanted to just try it with watercolors, and these papers handle water superbly well, even better than some papers that are sold as watercolor paper. As you can see, in some instances, I have even painted on both sides of the paper. Sometimes I feel like I can't paint on the other side of the page. And this is the one that I take with me when I'm traveling or going somewhere. And I plan to do some sketches or paintings, especially because it's inexpensive, plus it works really well for both pencils and pretty much any medium, colored oil pastels or especially watercolors. I'm really happy with these. Unfortunately, they have run out of stocks, but I regularly go and check in the same store just to see whether they have restocked. I have another sketchbook over here, which is Moleskine sketchbooks. Now, I bought this from Amazon and it was expensive, I would say, considering that it's a sketchbook and the size of it is almost half the size of the previous sketchbook that I showed you. I did not like this at all. A lot of sketchbooks have tan paper or just off-white pages, but this one is pure white. I kind of didn't like that. And this paper is strictly for pencil sketches. It doesn't work well with oil pastels, other markers, or pretty much no other medium goes well with this paper. Considering that the previous one was able to handle so many other mediums, and considering that Moleskine is a very well-known brand and that they are a lot more expensive, and this paper is also half the size of the previous, so I feel like this is a bit of a rip-off. That's just my personal opinion. I haven't bought Moleskine thereafter, and you can see I have used it pretty much for practice purposes. Even with pencil sketches, I didn't really like, and this binding is also not very good. You can see that papers are coming off when I was using it. So overall, I was very disappointed with this sketchbook. Alright, so that's about it for the Moleskine. And then what other art supplies have I bought? Oh, I have this one. These are not sketchbook per se, they are papers, but I think this brand is called Arches or Arches. I'll just call it Arches, or it's a French, I just call it Arches. Anyway, it's a French brand and this paper is supposed to be superb. This was bought about a year ago. Once again, I'm showing you very old art supplies that I have bought, and I'll be slowly working my way through to newer supplies that I have bought. So if not in this video, then there will be a couple of more upcoming videos. I'll be showing all of my supplies that I bought. So for now, these Ashes ones, I think I bought them about a year or year and a half ago. And these are some of the sketches, some of the paintings I have done using these papers. And I have no complaints. I think as advertised and as a lot of artists are saying, this paper is one of the best out there for watercolors or any other water-based mediums, I guess. But also they are kind of expensive. It's said to be 100% cotton, handmade, superb quality, very absorbent, and all that good stuff. And they have two packs. One is cold pressed, one is hot pressed. Now I'm not a big fan of cold pressed paper because those papers have some a little bit of tooth on the surface of the paper. I prefer the paper to be smooth. Now I wish that Ashes makes a sketchbook using these papers, but unfortunately I don't think they have a sketchbook. If you want a book, you have to buy their papers in these packs and make your own sketchbook. So that's a bit of a bummer. I feel like it being a popular brand, I was kind of expecting a sketchbook from them, but they don't have one. Alright, next up I have another watercolor set. I have the Cotman watercolors as well. So Cotman is this is the smaller set. They probably, I think they do have a bigger set. One of my most favorite Travelers watercolor set, just because of its compact size. I just wish they had more like a vivid kind of colors. These are more towards earthly colors because people take these out for usually when they're traveling or going outdoors to do paintings, typically of nature. It just makes sense. They have more earthy colors in here. If I wanted to buy the Winsor and Newton professional range, I guess I would spend a little bit more and get a brand like Sennelier or Daniel Smith maybe. I might not spend on Winsor and Newton professional brand, but since this is student grade and is priced in the student grade range, I think Cotman is a good buy in that sense. For a student grade type watercolor set in that price range, I really like the Cotman. For my everyday sketches, I use couple of art materials. I'll probably do a separate video on that. But those sketchbooks that I showed earlier, along with them, this is one of the watercolor sets that I usually take out with me. Alright, so that's all I have for today's video. There are so many other things, other interesting art materials that I have bought. They will be coming up in separate videos, in upcoming videos. So please stay tuned to my channel and I'll see you next time with more art videos. Bye bye.